That music fade out was pretty much on point. So let me go mute my phone. Welcome everyone to a laid back, chill out stream, all 11 of you. Hey, this tracks Han, February Quinn and Logit Face. It's raining heavy. Good to have you guys around. Yeah, no 3D printing today. I guess it ties into the layer themes. We're doing mainboard, we're layering in the CPU, and I hope there's a cooler in here. Yeah, there is. We're just building a PC, right? So this PC, it says streaming system, streaming PC somewhere. That is the PC that will eventually replace this guy. So if you've watched any of my live streams, you will have seen that. This is an HP Pavilion 360. I think it's like 3-4. Yeah, nah, it's gonna be 4 years old or something. Intel 8250U, no graphics card, 8 gigs of RAM. Really basic system, not very good, and it is coming to the end of its useful lifetime. As we saw with the Scantech video, maybe I can ramble a bit more about that. But yeah, basically I'm building this because I want to retest the Scantech 3D scanner, and this thing is not going to do it, and I don't want to install it on my main streaming computer. So the main streaming computer is separate from the computer you actually see if I do a screen cap. I always have a second computer that has all the junkware, all these slicers, all the tools from whatever Chinese manufacturers installed on it. It lives on a separate network, and it's only connected to the rest with an HDMI cable. So yeah. Oh, there's still, is there an address on here? Yeah, let me maybe scratch off that address before we start. Thanks for asking this distract son. Yeah, so I'm feeling fine. If you've been watching or reading along on Twitter, I've had a quick 48-hour, well, a little bit more than 48 hours. Trip to the ER and to the hospital. Well, ER typically lives in the hospital. With what may have been stroke-like symptoms, which is never something you want to have. But turns out it was just visual migraine, and that was something that freaked me out at the time. But basically the same day, it was all over. I mean, it's a thing that lasts for 2 hours, and if you're having a stroke, 2 hours is not a time that you want to wait. But yeah, I was feeling fine the same day. Of course, 48 hours in the hospital is not something that really relaxes you. So I did have to make up for a bit of lost sleep. But overall, I'm doing fine. I'm totally okay. You guys saw the video I released yesterday. I hope you all watched that. But yeah, I'm okay. Thank you for asking. This distraction, oh God. Right, so today it is Sunday, and oh, that shocked me. We're just gonna do a really laid back PC building stream. Yeah, Mr. Heavy Rain, I do have the full story about what exactly happened up on Twitter, if you guys want to read up. Lots of people apparently have similar symptoms with visual migraine. Maybe not to the extent that I was seeing, but it's kind of comforting that it's not something that is like rare. It's not a rare condition or anything. Lots of people are suffering from that. Maybe again, not to the same extent, but it's not uncommon. So yeah, shout out to everyone who's suffering the same thing. I hope it's going to be a one-time event for me because I don't want to have that again, but we'll see. That's glass. So then that's lacking that has a distinct lack of a top cover, which doesn't come with the system. Wow, that looks, ugh. Ugh. That doesn't look very good. Oh, why is that camera off? Does that camera not have power? I will need that camera. Let me check real quick what's going on there. Camera, do I just need to turn you on? No, you were on. Oh, okay, because this is on one of the switch circuits. Okay. Domenico, good to have you around. How am I? I'm doing fine, thank you. Print the top cover, yeah. So this, we're gonna go through what components we're using in a second. So that looks nasty. It's almost like it's missing a magnetic dust filter or something. Is it in the? Could it be in the case? No, there's nothing in here. I'm gonna have to check what's supposed to be included, because it has the clips and stuff here. That's missing. Okay, there's a manual. Nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Okay. So what are we building? Like I said, we are building a system that will be running all the Chinese slicers and software and junkware for 3D printer live streams. So this will be just connected through HDMI. I actually don't have a screen for this right now, so I'll just be plugging it into the capture card. So I will be looking at my streaming computer. One second, Domenico, I'm getting to that right now. And yeah, this thing will not have its own, yeah, it's gonna get its own screen eventually, but not today. We are using a Cooler Master Masterbox MB320L, which was $50. It's okay for $50. I don't like windowed cases, but this at least has real hardened glass, tempered glass. So that's okay. I would have preferred something that's just closed up, but whatever. We are building main components. We are building with an AMD Ryzen 5500. This is the brand new budget Ryzen. It's a 6-core, and it is very similar to the 5600 actually. It's just a bit lower clocked, and it's not. I don't think it's unlocked or anything. So I'm running a 5600X in my other computer at home, and this is basically the same thing. $160 for the CPU, very reasonable. Then for the GPU, this is actually the big one. We're going with a 1660 Super. So this is inside. Simon, I will check in a second, but I didn't see anything flying around inside. 1660 Super. So the options were basically, so this is a system that will not be, that doesn't need to do much, but it needs some sort of discrete graphics card, and it needs to have some power. So the two choices basically were either go with a 1660 Super or an RTX 3050. But the RTX 3050 would have been more expensive. So this card was 300 euros straight, which is still insane for what it is. The 3050 would have been 350 euros, but the RTX 3050 is actually slower than this. And as far as like features go, this has the Turing NVEnc, so I can use this if I ever want to swap this with the 1070 Ti that's in my streaming computer that's doing the encoding right now. I can always swap this out into my streaming computer and use the better Turing encoder versus the, is it Turing? Yeah, what's the 10 generation? What's the code name for that? I don't know. But yeah, if I ever want to swap that, I can put this in the streaming computer and have this do the video encoding and get a bit better performance, and put the 1070 Ti into this, what are we going to call this? Like stream junk computer. So 1660 Super was a bit of a compromise, of course, with the GPU market right now. Yeah, so this is reasonable, right? This is a 1660. It's a reasonably, like I said, it's an unreasonably reasonable build. So 1660 Super, 5500 Ryzen. These are really very usable components. We're chucking in 16 gigs of RAM, of course. So this is Team Group. How fast are you? 3200 CL16. So fast RAM, something you definitely want with Ryzen. We're chucking in a 256 gig M.2 SSD. This was $30, which is amazing. We are running everything on an ASrock A250M-HVS, whatever. ASrock makes a lot of mainboards. This is a super basic mainboard. This was $60. It's a micro ATX size with the A5, did I say 250? A520 chipset, so super basic chipset as well. It has 2 DDR4 slots, so like, you know, no special features. Well, it lists all the fancy stuff it does, but oh yeah, full spike protection. It's the mainboard, right? And AMD mainboards are they're just super cheap. So $60 for this. I don't need any overclocking, so I don't need the 550. I'm running a 450, a B450 at home. Totally fine. Grabbed a bunch of extra fans, Arctic F12. These are fantastic. I use these everywhere. They're great, $5 each. And these are the better ones with PWM and a built-in Y cable with the PST, so you can just plug one fan into the other. And for a power supply, I grabbed this off of the shelf of stuff that's still around. This is a BeQuiet Pure Power L7. This is probably like 10 years old, easy by now. Does this have a manufacturing date on here? It does not. I hope this still works. When I put it back, or when I put it on the shelf, it did work. So this is a 350 watt power supply, 80 plus, basic, no wire management, super basic power supply. Back when I originally bought it, this wasn't anything special, but it's still going to do the job, right? So that's the PC. That's the deal. Very, very basic. Just you know, building some stuff, throwing some stuff together. It's going to be running Windows 11 Pro or something. I did prepare the media creation tool installer drive, so we're going to use that to install. And that's it. Yeah. Dominica is saying it's annoying that the A520 chipset boards are the only ones that are reasonably priced, but even the A250 mini ITX boards are near $100. Yeah, so mini ITX, always expensive, unfortunately, for everything. SATA cables, wow. I've not used SATA, well, hard drives. I've used plenty. I've got that in an Unraid box. Why do they still include a driver CD? Well, it doesn't even have, this thing doesn't even have a place to put a drive. No, you can literally not install a drive in this case. Okay, I do have a USB drive if we need it, but I think it should run just fine without installing anything on Windows 11. So there is our board. It's tiny. It is small. It is very, very small. Let me grab the original box. Let's just get everything socketed in. So ASrock A520M-HVS, 1 M.2 slot, 1 full-size PCI Express 16, 1 PCI Express 1X. Not a whole lot of stuff. Couple USBs, SATAs, which will never see anything plugged in, USB 3. No heatsink, doesn't need it. And then on the back, very sparse I/O. 4 USBs, 1 more here, and this thing has 2 USB 3.0s on the case as well, so that's fine. Is there a second M.2 on the rear? There is not, Domenico. This is literally the most basic board you can grab. Though I guess if you wanted an extra M.2, you could use one of the adapters in the 1X slot. I often did that if I had to clone one drive to another. However, this one is not open on the back, so that might be a bit of a tight fit. Right, CPU. Ryzen 5. So the Ryzen 5 5500, Domenico, is that really the, is that a stripped iGPU model? I thought it was the same die or the same die combination as the 5600 and 5600X. But I might be wrong. This might really just be a, well, integrated one that has, oh God, I gotta turn on this camera screen. An integrated GPU one that has the GPU disabled. Ta-da! Ooh, that's actually a nice perspective. It's a board. And there's our Ryzen 5500. What do you guys do with the stickers? So you always get the component stickers with, you know, CPUs, GPUs sometimes, mainboards sometimes come with them, power supplies come with them. I've seen these on eBay for like $5. So like, yeah. What do you do with those? Nero, yeah, so this one does not have, this is the 5500, of course. This does not have the iGPU built in, but what you might have is, and what is being done, is to use the dies from the models that have the iGPUs and disable that when there's a bad die in there or something, when the iGPU doesn't work. So they can still use the silicon, but you know, they have to disable something to salvage it. So, ooh, that's a nasty application of thermal goop. Where's my zoom? There's my zoom. Ooh, yeah, you get stuff in it, but it is going to be fine. So this is a screw mount. Which way are we going to mount this? CPU fan. That's fine. Oh no, AMD. Yeah, I've seen this on another CPU. They've got such a nice. No, I'll just go up top. They've got such a nice mounting system with the brackets. That's been around since AM2. Yeah, since AM2 they've had the same bracket system. And it's really nice because you can use a clip that just clips over the entire heatsink or through the entire heatsink. But now even the stock coolers make you remove the stock brackets. Why? It could have been so nice. They do use the backplate, but you do have to remove these nice plastic clips. One thing I realized is that I don't have a Phillips screwdriver here, a Phillips 2 screwdriver, so I'm going to have to use bits, and either my Bosch Go or this super basic non-ratcheting screwdriver should be fine though. Oh God, what's that? Now that's a PZ bit. We're going to need the Phillips, the PH. Why is there a PH bit in there? Looks like one of these caps is different, but yeah. 16 megs of L3. It's a mobile part, PCIe 3.0 only. Yeah, I mean, I really don't care about PCIe 4X or PCIe 4 Gen 4. I mean, this is getting a 1660 Super. This would run just the same with a 4X PCIe 2.0 probably. So, yeah. Yep. Stickers go on the case because they increase the clock speed. Yeah, makes it go faster. Throw some tape over the backplate. Nah, mate, it's fine. I mean, if you lift it up, it's going to fall out, but yeah. So these screws come out, and then this thing goes on. So these are thumb screws. These have some knurling on the side, but they also have the Phillips head up top. Oops. Which I think is going to make my life a bit easier. So let's try and do that. And I think these are meant to just bottom out. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to have to wrench down on these. Springs are too tight. Well, these are bottomed out. I mean, that's all that it's going to get. And these are still, so it's only the springs pulling these down. It's not like a hard stop or anything. So I guess they are setting the tension with those springs pretty well. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, did we block access to any of the mounting screws? No, just checking. So is that the mounting? Okay, yeah, these don't have the nice ring around them. So typically the mounting screws for where your mainboard mounts have a bit of a shinier ring around them, but these just have like the couple dots. All right. Alrighty, right. So that's that. That can go with the main board in the main box. There we go. We're going to save the SATA cable. We can save the manual too. I like these nice, basic, small systems. It's just so little that's a fuss about them. So you just screw it together, and typically they're going to run. Super cheap, no fancy components, no futzing around. Oh yeah, there's the next sticker. There's a T-Force sticker. So let's just save these. I bet there's going to be a sticker in the cheap-ass SSD as well. So Team Group, I've made good experiences with them. They had a good kit on sale. Again, this is 3200 at CL16. So rather fast stuff, and you kind of do want fast RAM with Ryzen. There's one, and there's two. Now the only thing that could go wrong with this build is if the BIOS doesn't support the CPU yet. It's not listed on the box, however, it is listed on ASrock's website that the mainboard supports it. So we're gonna have to see. I could grab, I think, a 3600 non-X. I think I still have somewhere flying around. I could grab that if I have to, but then I'm gonna have to disassemble another PC. So like, yeah. So Nero, this is not going to be running streaming. This is not going to run capture cards or anything, because we only have one PCIe slot, and that's going to be taken up by the graphics cards, obviously. So this is just going to be the system that you will see as the screen capture. No sticker with the SSD. Though, I mean, it's a perfectly capable system for streaming too. Way too much packaging. Like, this could be so much less packaging. Caution, not to be handled by unauthorized personnel. All right, am I authorized? Come on. Guess I am. Come on. Are you? No. So yeah, Intenso, German brand actually. So these are a German brand that are made somewhere. Very basic SSD. I'm surprised to see this much coverage. So what controller are you? You taped over, okay. Yeah, I mean, it's an SSD, right? I don't think this is even, this isn't even a thermally conductive sticker. This is literally just plastic. 250 gig, $30. I'm amazed by that. So yeah, this thing claims 1100 megs write, 2100 megs per second read. So there, yeah. So I'm impressed by that. You go in here, and then we grab the screw. Yeah, Nero, so the reason why I don't use the same machine for both streaming and running software and stuff is, first of all, I worry about all the Chinese crapware, because I do install the software that they give me. And also, I don't want the slicer or something suddenly, taking up too much CPU and, causing hitches in the stream. So that's the two reasons for that. But mostly, actually, it's a security thing. With the Scantex software that I've recently uninstalled, and it left behind like some log server that had that was opening a port on the machine. That's the sort of stuff that I don't want on the same machine that I log into my Google Docs and stuff, into my email, etc. and that theoretically has access to all the business data. So I know it's more effort than I probably need to do, but I think it would be unreasonable to give all the Chinese slices and stuff. And I don't want to harp on like specifically Chinese manufacturers, doesn't matter. But just software that I don't trust, and I don't trust a lot of software. So yeah. Here, let me upgrade you here real quick. There we go. Fancy color. Time Princess, no, sorry, I don't have a Maker Faire or anything that I can recommend right now. I don't know any that would be happening soon. I've not kept track because I'm not actively looking to attend any. Right, so where do we go from here? We've got the CPU installed, we've got the RAM installed. CPU, RAM, SSD is in, cooler is on. Basically, this thing is ready to go into a case. So let's do that. Is there a, no, this is a matte sticker. Okay, the better AMD stock coolers, they give you an LED ring around the top and stuff. It's like, yeah. All right, we are done with the mainboard box. Let's unbox some more stuff. So you can go, you can go, you can go. 2 stickers so far. Let's dig into this high-end GPU, 1660 Super. Time Princess, if you skip back, you might find me talking about all the components, but just to reiterate, I mean, I don't have anything in the description yet, but it's a Ryzen 5 5500. It's a GTX 1660 Super, 16 gigs of Team Group RAM, 250 gig SSD, basic power supply, basic case. I think it came down to like 750 euros for the components minus the power supply. Really the reason was I was looking at getting another laptop, because we are replacing a laptop that used to be, the slicer system for this. But a laptop with those specs with a 3050, which really is half the performance of a desktop 3050, and that is slower than the 1660 already, you would have paid around 800, 900 bucks for that. And like this, I can upgrade and I get a bit more performance out of the box. So maximum reasonable. Yeah, GPU, 1660 Super, ITX OC. So, I mean, it's a GPU, right? Is there a sticker on here? There is not. I thought I just saw one. Yeah, one 8-pin power supply plug, power connector. What do we get as far as connectors go? So we get a DVI. Not going to be plugging in anything into that. We get an HDMI and a full-size display port. HDMI is what we're actually going to be using, and that's going to go into the capture card. That thing is almost the size of the main board. If you look at that, that's like, yeah. I mean, uses more power, even has more compute power, I guess, than the rest of the system. So like, yeah. Cool. Let's grab a case. Let's dig into this thing and see whether we find top dust cover. 2 stickers. Let's not lose those. So this needs to go into the case. I've forgotten the ITX or the ATX shroud way more times than I care to admit. Oh, that's tight. Is the A-cam a bit bright? It looks a bit too hot. Yeah, we've got ambient light too, not just studio light today. Why are you so tight? Ah! I need to grab the screwdriver. So, oh, that's captive. That's nice. So this is a Cooler Master Masterbox MB320L ARGB Better After Dark Mirror. Whatever that last thing means, I have no idea. I guess it's better after dark mirror. There it is. I guess that refers to the front panel, which is a dark tinted acrylic or something. So you slide off. Yeah. So that's rubber in the back. That's nice. Yeah. Time Princess, yeah, about that like button. So we've hit 1,000 subscribers on the More Layers channels on our channel on this one, which means we have apparently satisfied one of the requirements to be a full channel. So YouTube partner program basically. You need 1,000 subscribers, but I realized after we got that we also need 4,000 hours of watch time in the, I don't know, in the last month, year, something, in some time frame, and we're not there yet. So that's something that I'm still going to need to hit somehow. So that's, I mean, I'm just going to stream stuff until I get there. But yeah, thank you all for the 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for subscribing and coming along for the ride. This thing has quite a couple of fans in here. That's cool. Oh no, that's the front. Okay, I thought this had some fans on the top. Nah. So what do we get? Let's zoom you out. Nope. Let's go that way. There we go. Compartment in the bottom, which is riveted in. Oh, you can't even. So that is part of the case. You cannot remove that. You can also not remove this. That's interesting. Okay, large cutout. Let's take off the side. Oh God, this is wrenched down so hard. There we go. Oh no! Oh, it's not even got the screwed-in PCIe slot covers. You literally have to break these out. Ah, feels like 2005 again. Oh, there it is! Ha! We found it. I thought we didn't get one. So this guy, that's what we need. That goes up top here. Okay. I thought they hadn't included that, but they actually shoved it between the rear, the rear side panel. There we go. That looks so much better. Ah. Yeah. Michael, yeah, so live streams do count for the watch time. So side panel. This thing feels reasonably well made. So it's got a nice kind of grippy powder coat on it. Feels reasonably sturdy. I'm happy with this case. This was $50, by the way. $50 for the case. Comes with two fans. These two fans by themselves, so they're 120s and they're ARGB. Does the mainboard have an ARGB header? That would be so cool, but it does not, I think, no. Oh well. Not like I care anyway. This is a system that's going to be living under the desk. It doesn't have the. I would have grabbed that if I knew that I could have plugged it in. So you get the. There we go. You get the RGB connectors in the back. But I guess we're just going to have. Either is there a controller or something? How do you control these? Let's find out. Fill it full of RGB. Yeah, I'm gonna black it out completely. Probably. So what are you? Splitter. That looks like universal adapters for like all the different RGB standards. For Gigabyte, this one's unlabeled, and this one looks like the same one as this, but male instead of female. Interesting. And then it connects up to the fans up here, so that's the connectors for the fans. Okay, don't think I have anything to plug that into. Huh. What else do you get? Ah, nice snack pack. You get drive rails. Does this thing have... Oh yeah, it's got 2 compartments for 3.5-inch drives. That's cool, didn't realize that. I'm never gonna put anything in there. Actually, let me turn that light on. That's not any better, is it? Screws, we might need those for the main board. Time princess, any membership plans for the streaming channel? Ooh, it's got an RGB controller. Any membership plans? I might, do I have that enabled? I don't think so. I might enable it if you really want the memberships thing on the More Layers channel as well. Though for the time being, there's the main channel. If you want to support that, go through the main channel or Patreon, etc. if you want to go that route. And I appreciate that equally. Even comes with zip ties. These are like the flimsiest zip ties I've ever seen, but it comes with zip ties. What am I missing? Not much, okay. Yeah, Paul, so the thing with the CPU, the PSU compartment, so this thing, it does make life easier. So you really get with the window cases, this is all going to be open in Windows, so you can look into this. And I've tried to get a windowless case, a case that has just, plain black sides. But those are so hard to find these days. So this is, 50 bucks for a Cooler Master case. It's fine. So I had to get one with the window, or I would have gotten either like a super janky Chief Tech or whatever, or one that's just completely outdated or overpriced. And yeah, it makes it cool. So you get some of the just chuck the wires in thing down here. And then up here, you just have your wires routed along the back, and you don't have to worry about that too much either. So I guess this is fine. This is an okay compromise. So what do we get here? Oh, it's got a button on it. Huh. So switch. I guess you can connect some. Oh, is there a? That's the reset button. I guess you can connect some sort of a switch to this. So that looks like a small controller thing that's included. Power, so this is a SATA power takeoff that you grab. Got a button, and then ARGB if your mainboard doesn't have any RGB controlleration built in, which this board unfortunately does not have. I would have looked for that if I knew or if I thought about it. But yeah, it's cool that they include this little controller thing. Probably got a microcontroller and everything in it. Does it? Can we pop it open? I kind of want to pop it open now. And it's already falling apart, so that should be... I want to look inside. Let's have a look inside here real quick. I'm curious. What do we get? What do you get for a €50 case? Dominica, you were going to recommend a Fractal Design Core something, the 1100. I think I bought that. I think I bought that for my mom's PC. I don't know if it was the 1100, but some Fractal Design case or something. And that thing is garbage. Like, that thing is absolutely the worst. So super thin steel, completely outdated design. The power button didn't work out of the box, so I had to go plug the reset button into the power on the mainboard to even get it to boot up. Absolute piece of junk, especially for what it cost. Huh. Totally not worth it. Huh. Okay. So that is interesting. Okay, I expected a bit more in here. So we've got the power in. There. We've got the power in. We've got switch, so I guess this is really just either it's an on-off or it's just parallel to this button on the back here. And you get the ARGB output. Oh yeah, these are addressable ones. That's what the A stands for. Huh. Right, of course. I mean, that makes it easier. So this is really just a generic SO8 microcontroller in here. And it really just outputs 5 volts for these, I guess. And a data pin. So it's WS2812 or 2811 chips, I guess. And there's something running on here that controls that. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yeah. Huh. I thought these were, so really I thought these were just standard like RGB ground, 4-pin ones, but with 3 pins you can't really do that. Cool, addressable LEDs. Color me impressed. Impressible? Addressable? Yeah, addressable LEDs. You guys need the peel. Oh no. So this front panel is plastic. Which makes for one of the most unsatisfying peels out there. And there's a little bit stuck up there. Come on. Yeah. Okay, I think we got it all. Okay. So this thing is ready to go. This thing is ready to go. We're all peeled. We found the top cover. Board goes in, 2 fans. Let's just go ahead and, let's get this tie out of here. We're going to use a zip tie for that. So many cables on this. What do we get? We got the USB 3 with the old style non-C connector. We get all the buttons and stuff. We get 2 fans, RGB. We get, what are you? Audio, okay, we don't even need that. And then just a whole bunch of cables for the fans. So the RGB fans really do add a lot of complexity to this. A lot of unneeded complexity, but hey, people want stuff that glows, so, if the people want it, I guess there's a market for it. What are these? So little rubber buffers. Are these for fans? Are these for fans? Yeah, these are for fans. Ooh, rubber grommets for the fans. I'm liking this case. RC Maniac, yeah, so the my PCs are ATX2, my real PCs. So my workstation that I edit on is actually an eATX board with a Threadripper in it. Those always come with huge boards. It's not quite eATX, but huge box, BeQuiet 901. So like that tall. Had a bunch of drives in there at some point, don't actually need it anymore. Then this system that's running the stream right now is a full-size ATX Threadripper as well. In a Cooler Master CM692. Great case, that's why I got another Cooler Master. I think they're gonna be, yeah, they're gonna be good, nice match side by side. And then typically, yeah, I do go for a full-size, just convenient builds. We're not going to be running out of space. But in this case, really, this system needs to do one thing, and that is to provide something for you guys to look at when I do screen capture, because otherwise we don't have anything to look at. You go this way. What is that port layout? No, you go the other way. That's why it looks so weird. So that way. So a bit of a bent metal situation back here in the ATX cover area, but that's going to be pressed in by the board anyway. So let's check our holes. Micro ATX M. And then these I don't think we're even going to use. No. That looks good. I mean, there are a couple more in here than we actually need, but just to double check, we're not. So this one we're going to need. And then that's it. It's just 6 screws, right? Wow. This is nice and simple. So all we need to do is move this screw. Wow, guys, you can hardly see that. Let me grab our light real quick, because I don't think this is fun to watch right now, is it? Ha! That doesn't help much. Well, let's turn this up. There we go, kinda. So that screw needs to be here. And it does include the tool. Yeah, it does include the little socket adapter. So that just has a Phillips 2 on the back. And you can undo these standoffs. There you go. Yeah, so Domenico, I get that. I get that ITX boards and stuff are fun and they're really nice and compact, and I like them too. But I just can't stand the extra hassle of having to go with like all specialty components, and oh, now you need a case, and now the ITX standard isn't the same ITX standard as the other one, and I just want stuff that works. And in that case, like micro ATX really is the way to go. So I'm going to break out the PCIe slot before we install anything. I don't want to scratch the board. BTX mainboard. BTX, what is that size? That's one of those weird server sizes, right? Yeah, 3090 and mining, actually not profitable anymore. If you know, go figure. What are you? What is that screw? So, you know, with power costs going up and Bitcoin going down, like it's, you know, even if you wanted to, it wouldn't actually turn a profit anymore. What is that? That's like a little knurled, longish screw with an M3 thread on it. No idea. The only problem with this light is that it's not magnetic. I wish I could just put it up here. Maybe if you do that. Oh, that's good. That's good. It's probably going to fall in and crash onto the RAM, but whatever. Okay, I can never remember which thread this is. The mainboard screws, is that supposed to be fine thread or coarse thread? I think it's supposed to be coarse thread. So let's go ahead and try that. And it is coarse thread. Okay. There you go. BTX was supposed to replace ATX. Huh. And then AMD went, no, we're not doing it. Yeah. I wonder what that ATX 12 volt only power supply standard is going to go or come to, because right now Intel is pushing for all these secondary rails, everything that isn't 12 volt, to be created by the main board, which is weird, because the main board's not going to know what your accessory needs are going to be. So basically the idea is your power supply just supplies 12 volt. 12 volt only. It supplies it to the main board, to the graphics card, to drives, etc. Well, not to drives actually. The drives, if you use any, would be plugged into the main board. So the main board would need to have a whole bunch of power regulation circuitry on it. And I'm just thinking, like, why would you change that? Why would you change that system that's working so well? I mean, we've got ATX. Yeah, it's not the simplest, the slickest, most modern standard, but it works so well. So, like, why would you want to change that up? And if you look at the specs, I don't know if it was Gamers Nexus or Hot Hardware, someone who did a post on that. If with the ATX 12 volt only spec, what Intel would call a 1000 watt power supply, because of the way their CPUs are boosting up and are using tons of power during that phase, 1000 watt, I'm very bright, aren't I? 1000 watt power supply would now need to be basically a 2000 watt power supply, because it needs to supply those 2000 watts for like, what, a millisecond, 10 milliseconds, and you can't do that with capacitors. It's going to be interesting times. In a time when desktop PCs are already going back in sales or regressing in sales, throwing in weird new standards that are going to disgruntle people. Interesting choice, Intel. Okay, board is in, CPU is in. It's looking good. I like this red accent actually. This looks good. The RGB is probably going to ruin everything, but this looks good. There is a bit more space for, like, what is that supposed to be? Pumps? No, you've got a graphics card in there. Drives? Oh, that's what these grommets are for. Now I get it. Okay. I may have misplaced a couple of those, but we've got plenty. Stay here. Got plenty of spares. So, interestingly, back here, underneath the main board, so this is the bottom of the case, there's these two mounting spots. And I think these are for 2.5-inch drives. And they include these grommets, which I believe fit in here. Maybe, yeah. So they include these grommets so that you can, decouple a 2.5-inch hard drive, which I mean, that's like a very edge case as far as what people are actually going to do. There's the grommet that I dropped. But hey, good thinking. And yeah, you can also use these for fans. Okay, power supply. Power supply just goes down here in the power supply compartment. Yeah, XKCD 927, that is the standard when it comes to talking about standards. Yeah. Hey, let's create another standard that makes everything better. Oh, cool. Now we have 12 standards instead of 11. Fan pointing down, I guess. Fan pointing down, fan pointing down. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of air above this thing. Can you take out the drive cage? Yes, you can. Looks like there's a. Let me actually try that first before we install the. Before we install the power supply. So this drive cage I don't need. This is only going to get in the way. Looks like there are some rivets in here, but there is a Phillips #2 screw here. So let's try and remove that. SIP. You guys are talking about the phone over IP standard, right? Hasn't that all been replaced by like proprietary standards and stuff? Oh, you can even move this. Look, you have like 3 positions: front, center, and rear. So you can move this sled. You can move it all the way up to the front if you have like a thick radiator in the front, or you can move it towards the back. Well, you can move it towards the back if you have the radiator there, or towards the front if you have a long power supply. That's cool. That's cool. I'm liking this case, to be honest. It has a window, but it's a cool design. Lots of room for activities now. Let's just do that. Yeah. And these now have, is that coarse thread or fine thread? They only have coarse thread. I think this is fine thread though, but. Not coarse fits, okay. Yeah, Jabber was replaced. That is true. Ketchup and mustard cables. Yeah, I talked briefly about this power supply. So the power supply is a BeQuiet L7, I believe it's called as a generation. It is a very old power supply that I literally took off the shelf that was sitting around waiting for a use. And this is pretty much the perfect use case for it. Non-modular, 80 plus basic, not even 80 plus bronze or anything, literally just the least, the very bottom shelf of what is acceptable. Yeah, ketchup and mustard cables. I don't care. I really don't care. We do have, yeah, it has an 8-pin. Look, even has a correct plug for our GPU. This is like the perfect application for this power supply. Got a bunch of drive cables, which honestly, on none of my modern systems, I need, you know, either SATA or the old Molex connectors. And on this one, the only thing that's going to be plugged into that is the RGB controller. So we need, what are you called? P4, yeah, CPU P4. We need a PCIe and an ATX 24 pin. So you go here, yep. You go somewhere, well, we find a spot once we get the GPU in. And then you are going to be a tight fit because this is literally from the generation where power supplies used to be installed in the top of the case. So that really is a tight fit for the CPU power. Though, yeah, that's gonna work. Barely, but it's gonna work. So, okay. I guess I could have routed the main board or the ATX connector through here and just squeezed it in, but like I said, way too reasonable. That would be an unreasonable amount of effort for this build. Okay. Yeah, oh, ah. And then CPU. So you go up here, you plug in, nice, perfect length. Okay, what next? I guess, yeah, we're not going to install the GPU yet because that's going to block off access to all the front panel connectors. So let's go with front panel connectors next and get that installed. Okay, so this light unfortunately is not magnetic. I wish it was. It is not. How do we route these? I guess the idea is we go into the bottom compartment and then we come out again. So let's do that. Oak tables are good because you can do that sort of stuff and you don't have to worry about it getting completely scratched up. So you go all the way down here. Let's go piece by piece. So USB 3. USB 3 goes, oh, that actually goes towards this side. So USB 3 goes here. Yeah, I'm just going to plug it in. I guess you guys know what that looks like. I don't have a camera on this side. Maybe I should get one. This USB 3 connector is the worst. Then HD audio, don't need it. But I'm gonna plug it in anyway. Actually, I think the other side would be more interesting for you guys, wouldn't it? So if you do that, you can see what's going on. So we're plugging in stuff down there. Yeah, I realize I don't have a setup that is like perfectly optimized for building PCs. It's okay for building 3D printers, but for PCs, there's a lot more rotating and working on both sides at the same time involved. All right. Now this is something that I wish they had some sort of a standard for. All the panel connectors. So these still come as just a bundle of loose DuPont cables. I wish they had some sort of standardized connector, but it is still the same crap where you have to figure out polarity for the LEDs, power switch, power LED, that one's split, this one isn't. That's going to be a bit of findangling. So reset, I believe that's this one, and now I can't read what's what. Maybe let's grab the manual, because that usually has a nice large image of that sort of stuff. Look at me reading the manual. Yeah, can I get a pinout? I don't just want like a microscopic view of the thing. CPU fan, sticking in RAM, there we go. So that's what we want. Pinout for the, no, actually this guy. Pinout for all our connectors. This thing, I mean, come on manufacturers, just agree on something. Agree on some standard like you did with HD audio. Gave me one connector to plug in. How can that be so hard? ASUS usually, or used to do a thing that was actually pretty cool with the, I think it was called the Q connector, or the Q-Con, where they would give you, oh cool, now this one is upside down to what I'm looking at. Where they would give you like an extra standoff basically for this connector that you could plug into this and then plug the entire thing in as one unit. That was pretty cool. I think they stopped doing it, but like, yeah. Now we're back to just the old messy way. So back right is HD plus on the right side, so like this. Probably half of the stuff is not going to work anyway, so yeah. Power LED plus, power LED plus, power LED plus this way. I know this is not very exciting to watch, but it's also not very exciting to do for me, so I'm trying to get through this as fast as possible. And then the most important one, the power switch. Power button is these two. Nope. Yes, okay. Ta-da. It is done. Every power cable was at its max length, yeah. And Jaden YouTube bottle from YouTube actually. WPS. So Domenica, you're talking about WPS, the Wi-Fi standard Wi-Fi one-click push button connect. It works. I mean, it's not good, but it works, doesn't it? Kinda, maybe. So I'm trying to figure out what in this entire wiring misses. Okay, so basically we get, that's nice of Cooler Master. So we get one 4-pin connector that's going to plug into the mainboard. We get another 4-pin that is split off from that, and basically this thing just goes into another splitter unit. So basically this is just a 3-way Y cable, and then it plugs into the 2 stock fans. That is cool, because typically you have to buy extra Y splitter cables, and these aren't cheap. These are like $8 each. But it comes pre-installed, and you even get an extra takeoff if you want to install an extra fan. That is nice of them. And in fact, I will install an extra fan in the back. I think I'll just, well, do we need that? Do we need an exhaust? Do we need an exhaust fan? Do we need an exhaust fan? I mean, it's a 65-watt CPU and a 125-watt GPU. How much watts? How much watt does this thing have? Causes cancer in Canada, yeah. Needs a 450-watt power supply, Doesn't say what the TDP of this thing is. We don't need an exhaust fan, do we? I did grab a pair of the F12s, Arctic F12 PWM, but yeah. Fan or no fan? I don't know. I'm going to read chat for a second here. Video cards has 3 different kind of connectors. Well, it's 2 standards. It's the old ATX or PCIe, the 6-pin and 8-pin. Now the NVIDIA standard that somehow became a standard now. Yeah, no fan. That's 1 vote for no fan. Yeah, USB standards. I mean, USB-C, love it, but the way that it's being handled with power delivery and quick charge being proprietary standards, and then warp charge and USB 3.2 Gen 1, and then USB 4 apparently is a thing. Yeah, just way too much of a mess. Chassis speaker. Well, why does this thing have a speaker connector? So we have a PWM in the back. Chassis fan too. So this just plugs in here. Fan. Yeah, fan always, fan, no fan. I'm just gonna put an extra fan in. Why not? I bought him, I got him. It's really no big deal. So I can always tune it down if it gets too annoying. Okay. So we actually do have like heaps of room for fans up here. So there's what size is that? So that's a 120. Okay, so that's 140. So dual 140s or dual 120s. Don't think we need anything at the top, but we do have 2 fans in the front that come by default with the case. That's the ARGB fans. Let's just put one in the back so we get the CPU exhaust air out. Don't think the GPU actually does a very good job of exhausting air out the back. So yeah, let's give that some help. Otherwise, this fan is basically just going to be, well, first of all, recirculate air from the front, because there's a huge gap where it can just suck its own air back in, and then some of it is just going to come out the top. So one extra fan in the back can't hurt. Angus's fan. Yeah. I think I'm going to need a bigger case for that. So this is these are pretty cool. So first of all, Arctic makes great products at a great price. This was a €5 fan, the F12R, fantastic value. If you want a silent fan, you just reduce the RPM in BIOS and that's it. It plugs in. You have a standard 4-pin PWM that you plug in, but it has PST, so you can tap off another fan. So you can basically just daisy chain these up to a point where your main board just blows up. But this is just super convenient. Saves you a ton of money on Y splitters, and if you don't have enough connectors, enough fan headers on your board, these are an absolute lifesaver. So I'm not going to put any grommets or anything in here. I'm just going to plug it in straight. That's too short. That's good. And I'm going to, well, I guess I'm just going to center this in the slot here. Oh no. Silver screws. I wish I had black screws. I bought a bunch at some point, but they're not here at the studio with me. They're at home. So unfortunately, yeah. Time Princess, $5. Daisy chain fan, super quiet. They even make a high static pressure one, I think, which is the P12. The F12 is just a standard high flow one. And because we're not running through a radiator or anything, this one is totally fine. Arctic, yeah, highly recommend their stuff. They also make CPU coolers, which are okay for the most part, but they're super budget friendly, and for what they cost, they're really good. They're more in the line of like stock cooler replacements, but yeah, fans and stuff, totally cool. Also, yeah, Arctic, what's a thermal paste? Basically, that stuff has become the standard for thermal paste. If you don't want to go with like Noctua or some other specialty thermal paste. What's a thermal paste called? I don't know. Somebody in chat is going to know. MX4, yeah. MX2, MX4. MX4 is a more liquid one. MX2 is just a standard, thicker one. Very good stuff. Same guys. Arctic. Love them. And they're from Austria, I think. Or Switzerland or something. I don't know. Okay. What do we have? Let's go through this one more time. We've got the... There you go. We've got the main headers plugged in. So power button. Where's the power button? Reset button. USB is plugged in. That's audio. No, that's the front fans. Audio is plugged in. USB is plugged in with a nice big ugly loop over here. But these connectors, you can really not put any strain on them, or they're just going to pull off. We've got the most beautiful cable. Color matches the RAM for power. Yeah, I guess I could have sleeved this, but who cares? Wire management in the back. I mean, yeah, it doesn't look great. So let's get that done. We're gonna need you in a second. That's another take off there. So the controller for our RGB lighting just plugs into some SATA connector. There we go. I was going to put a zip tie around this, but yeah, that's not coming off. So that just plugs in there. And then this guy plugs into our 4-pin ARGB. Okay. And then except for the GPU, we're done with wire management. Look away, children. That is going to commit a crime. Okay, wire management is done too. That's cool. That was quick. So now, last order of business, let's chuck a GPU in this guy. Where's our tiny GPU? There we go. Oh, we need to take off the PCIe cover and oh, I'm in crooked. Oh no, it's jammed. There we go. That's better. Okay. And we're in. One more screw in the back. This screwdriver combo is not a... Damn it. I'm going to have to shake that out in a second. This screwdriver is not a very good choice, but it's all I have today. I don't have a standard Phillips 2 screwdriver around. Okay, that's in. That's, yeah. I'm not super happy with like the very thin gap here between the power supply shroud and the GPU, but hey, what are you gonna do? It's gonna be fine. I need to get that screw out before I forget and we turn it on and all we get is sparks. There it is. Easy enough. Power for the GPU. Yeah. Come on. I feel like I could have used a different hole for that to route it through. But with that in there, like, I don't feel like there's much potential for improvement. Like not much, there's nothing that's gonna make that any better, so yeah. And actually, I mean, look, now this will be the point where I start zip tying stuff down, but like, to be honest, I'm just gonna put the cover on the back here. There's no reason to zip tie anything down. It's not gonna rattle around. It's not gonna hang into any fans, which will be my main concern. Really, it's just flop in a back shell or a back cover and look, this is going on so easy. Like none of my other PCs go on that easy. There we go. That's it. That's how it's done. Look, we're done. Such a clean build. Ta-da. Yo, Pooch, what's up? Not a 3D printer. No. Not today. Though it will be used in 3D printer builds. So don't you worry about that. All right, and we've built a PC. How long did that take? 1 hour, 20 minutes, even with rambling. Some of you might know I used to do this as a small business where I was actually building custom PCs. So I do have some experience. That looks okay with the smoked black side. I used to do this as a small business building custom PCs. So I've chucked these together very fast at some point. I could have gone a lot faster, but really, this is just for enjoyment and to get a product out of it. I don't always need to be rushing through stuff. So let's get that up here and let's go ahead and plug it in. So I'm hoping that, nope. HDMI is not long enough, so we're gonna have to use the A-cam for that, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay, the only way I'm going to be able to see what this thing is outputting is by switching you guys onto screen cap. So we're going to be in screen cap for a while. I won't be able to see this. We're going to need a mouse. We're going to need a keyboard. And I only have this Logitech wireless, so this is a K400 Plus keyboard, which I hope works to get into BIOS. And we need power. Do I not have an IC cable? Why am I so low on IC cables here? It's my last one. All right, power on. We've got our Windows 11 install stick ready to go. Power is on. Let's turn you on. Ooh. I guess you can press the button on the controller and you get something. Get some effect, but it's in the compartment. So I'm gonna have to put you back on screen cap where I'm literally not seeing what's going on. Unless I put my OBS into studio mode, then I might be able to switch around. Come on. Give me something. Give me an output. Give me an output. Why am I not seeing anything? Does this thing have, this doesn't even have any LEDs and stuff on it, huh? So, that, why? Why? So we are, what you should be seeing in that slightly lighter black square up there is the BIOS. And I'm almost afraid that we might not have a BIOS version that supports the CPU. So is it power cycling? It is not. So we're seeing the green LEDs pulsating. That is the just the controller doing its thing. I guess you can press the button and cycle through a couple different modes. It is not power cycling. So what you would typically see is the fan spinning up and down at least. Okay, but it's somewhere. Some BIOS is running, I guess. That's off. Let's switch back to screen cap and see if you get anything. And if this doesn't work, I might need to plug it into an actual screen. So right now this is being plugged into a capture card. It might be that it doesn't like that on boot, but okay. I'm gonna grab a physical display. So, like I said, right now we are plugged into my streaming computer with a screen capture card. But I do have, I can point the camera at them. That would work. I can grab one of the TVs basically that I've got open for chat and stuff. So, TV left. Nope, TV right. I've got left and right mixed up. There we go. That's this guy. So yeah, if this has an incompatible BIOS, I'm gonna have to go harvest a CPU real quick. So let me see, that's plugged into the physical screen that's saying no signal. Guess I should rotate that screen while we're at it. But that is not looking particularly good. Okay, no signal. Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna need to grab a CPU. One moment, please. So you can actually go back in. I'm just gonna let you leave you. Nah, need to unplug it anyways. I hope what CPU is in that thing. So you unplug. Oh yeah, I think this is the Fractal Design 1100. Yeah. I think somebody identified this. Has the fan bulge on the side. I think this is the Fractal Design 1100. Does it say Fractal Design anywhere? Yeah, no, this is the Core 1000 USB 3. Yeah, I thought I was getting tricked into thinking this was a modern case because it said USB 3, and typically USB 3 cases haven't been around for that long, or at least not for 20 years. But this thing is garbage. This thing is so bad. Very similar system actually, and I think I did build this live on stream on this channel at some point. What's in here? There's a. It actually only has an 80mm fan in the back. That's the only. Still no signal. That's all that would fit. Hi there. Oh, Crucial Ballistics. That's a rather. Oh, you aren't screwed down. What the heck? I guess I'm gonna put a screw in it while we're at it. That's a loose 5700 XT. You know, just my mom's office PC. Oh yeah, and talking of Arctic CPU coolers, this is one of them. How does this open up? That's that. Does this have a lever? I think it does. Yep, this literally just lifts off, apparently. Yep, just flexes off. What are you? You are an AMD Ryzen. Hold on. Don't want to drop that on the main board. There you go. Fan box as a buffer. Oh yeah, 3D printed fan blocker thing. No, why is that? Why is that in there? Why did I tape a? Huh? There's just a 3D printed. This is one of the fan blockers that I printed. But why did I tape that to the side of the case? I'm confused. That goes here. Oh. Also, yeah, this thing has 0 wire management, as you can see. Like there's just a whole bunch of cables somewhere. Got a nice power supply. Seasonic core, 500 watt. Like, yeah, Fractal Design Core 1000. So this CPU is a 3600X. This should work. Yeah, I did do a better job cable managing this time because there was an actual chance to do cable management. This old one just had no way to do anything, no chance to do any sort of cable management. So yeah, as far as BIOS compatibility, Time Princess, the A520 supposedly is compatible, and this specific board as well. So ASrock lists the board as compatible on their website, but I think that they even specifically say, hey, we can't guarantee that you will be getting one that already has the compatible BIOS installed. So really it's up to you. I guess I should unplug this. Really, it's up to you to play the lottery, or some resellers actually offer a BIOS update service for like 15 bucks or something, where they will actually update the BIOS before they ship it to you. So I guess I should have used that, or I don't know. Is there another way to guarantee a compatible mainboard? I don't know. Silverbear, why not change the graphics card first instead of the CPU? Well, the graphics card is brand new. I don't think that is failing in any way. It would be very weird if a brand new 1660 Super was already defective. So, yeah. The CPU right now is the most. Let me get a paper towel. The CPU right now is the most obvious point where it could be failing. Ah! I need to get some trusses. This is wild with the lights everywhere. Okay. I don't have any extra thermal compounds, so whatever is on here is gonna have to do. I'm not gonna be putting any fresh one on. So 3600X goes with the, you can't see that, little gold marker, goes around this way. Okay. Oh yeah, that tip with taping down the bracket on the back of the mainboard, that was a good tip, because now the bracket is just completely dropped through, and it's sitting on basically on the table. I'm just gonna leave it like that. I'm just gonna let the cooler sit on there with, yeah. This is enough cooling. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Okay, let's leave that here. So, GPU, let's plug you in again. I mean, honestly, these CPUs, it's a 65 watt CPU. Officially, it uses a lot less than that. It's probably gonna run with no cooler even. So I'm not too worried about just leaving this sitting on the CPU with no screws down. So, okay, we're powered up. We're on screen cap. Let's boot you up. There's no beeper or anything in here. So you are running with the new CPU. Oh, the fans are turning down. The fans are turning down. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Come on. We're getting further than we got a second ago. So we do have the fans that are now auto-regulating. They're not just running on a constant RPM. So we're still not getting any output. There we go, yay! Yay, we got it, we got it, we got it, we got it, we got it. Let me into the BIOS, what's the button? We're in the BIOS, okay, so it was the CPU. The board does not come compatible with, what's it called, with the 5500 by default. So let me go ahead and zoom you guys up. There we go. 3600X is plugged in. Cool. So basically all I'm going to do is, yeah, and we have all 16 gigs detected, that's cool. All I'm going to do is, oh, does this actually do some sort of update over internet? No, it's just USB, okay. So what I'm going to need to do is make myself a USB drive with a BIOS update. So let me grab that. And I'm going to need to switch over to the other display. No, that's the wrong display. We need this guy. All right, there's my data from the last video. ASrock A520M, and what's the full name? A520M-HVS. Why am I? Oh, I'm typing on the wrong keyboard. That's not going to work. A520M-HVS. BIOS update. Init BIOS 2.10. Okay. Let's check what we have installed. Do we get BIOS 1.31? Okay. Does the mouse work on this? Oh yeah, the mouse works. So we have L 1.31. So we will need the updates. So support BIOS 2.10. Please read the information. No responsibility. V2 Pi 1.6. Blah blah blah. Enable by default. Okay, yeah, we're gonna need an FTPM. So let's grab the 2.1. And I guess we have to unzip this, right? .10 onto this guy. There it is. Oh, look. That's the same USB drive. We're on the right. Yeah, that's the same drive that I used to update the BIOS on this Threadripper that I'm running right now. So that's this very system that I updated with this very USB drive. That's fun. Okay. Eject. And then we're going to put you back onto that capture. Hope the USB 3 ports work. Tool, instant flash. Yeah, there we go. Update. Yes. Thank you for the help, RC Maniac. It came in March 2022. Yeah. Cool. Do not power off. Whew. World of 3D, did you move in the new office, into the new office? Yes, this is the new office, or the new studio space. I did do a studio tour for patrons and YouTube supporters, so you can check that out. And I think on one of the past streams, I also gave a quick pan around the studio as to what's up here and what is built out. But yeah, this is the new studio, and the last video that I uploaded on the main channel, the 3D printer glues, that was entirely filmed in this studio already. And I think it's working out pretty well. Yeah. Domenico, yep, power cut. Power here is pretty stable, so not something I worry about. But I did still get, what do I call it in English? In German, it's the UPS. USV, it's in German. Okay, in English it's UPS, uninterruptible power supply for the Synology and the camera system, so that that just keeps on running whenever. I'm gonna mute myself real quick. That was muted, right? Yeah. Is the new Office 3-phase or single phase? Actually, I can swivel that camera around. No, sorry, too much stuff going on. Ow. I can swivel that camera around and I can, yep, just in the back there, that's the fuse box, or the main panel. So I do have 3-phase, not a whole lot of breakers yet, but full 3-phase. Every building here in Germany has 3-phase basically, unless it was built in the 60s or something. So yeah, full 3-phase. I think this main, what is this, 40 amp? Yeah, so I think I can pull like 40 amps out of this 3-phase, which should be plenty. So plenty for a 3-phase lathe, definitely, and plenty for some other stuff that I might want to run. So yeah, plenty of power here. And this is all being fed out of a photovoltaic system that the landlord unfortunately owns. I don't have any stakes in that. So I'm just buying power from him. And the rest of the power that's not coming off of the roof. So right now it's sunny outside, so we're running 100% on photovoltaics. But whenever that is not shining, we have just 100% renewables that we buy from the grid. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Dominic, I'm not going to put an EV charger in here. I do charge at home because, well, there it's my power, and it's either buying power here for like 35 cents or something, or using the power that I'm not going to be feeding into the grid, or that I would be feeding into the grid for an opportunity cost of 9 cents per kilowatt hour. So it just doesn't make sense to put an EV charger in here unless I have an employee at some point who drives an EV and who would benefit from being able to charge at work. But otherwise, there is no point for me to put an EV charger in here. Programming success. Yeah. Press enter to reboot system. So I'm going to reboot it into the new BIOS once, and then we're going to put the old new CPU back in. Yeah, it should be plenty of power for any bed heaters. Okay. Boot up. Come on. Come on. Yay! There we go. And we're on version 2.1. Nice. Nice. Okay. So we can turn this guy off and put the old CPU, the new CPU, the 5500 back in. Yeah, how would you do this if you don't just happen to have another system that you can steal a 3600X out of? I know a friend who does work on PCs quite a bit. They just bought a whole bunch of older AMD CPUs for all the various mainboards that they might need to update at some point. So they just have CPUs at hand. They just have like one of the, do they have like any of the cheaper Athlon CPUs anymore? I don't know, but they got one of those literally just for the purpose of updating BIOSes. Okay, so you can go off. I'm gonna unplug you, do the thing right. Okay, so cooler can come off. Oh, that didn't even make contact. Yeah, like I said, these CPUs, I mean, if they get too hot, they're gonna throttle, but they're really robust. So that I'm not gonna put the CPU in yet because I first have to fish out the back plate. So let me do that real quick. Yeah. Didn't sound good. Okay, that slid down just a bit. So I'm gonna put some gaff tape on this. I don't know who suggested that, but yeah, it's a filthy hack, and I don't like the fact that they're not using the stock mounting system, because the stock mounting system is very good. But, well, I was gonna leave some goop once I have to take it off at some point, but really there shouldn't be a reason to take it off at any future point. So literally just the back plate up here, taped down to make sure it's not falling off again. Oh, hey, CPU cooler is tumbling around. Whatever. And that's this guy. Yeah. Thermal paste. Yeah, Domenico, it's good that these things really, it's become so hard to kill a CPU. I mean, one of the things I think really helped is just having a heat spreader on here. Remember the old times when the CPU would literally not have a heat spreader and you'd see the bare die? And maybe if you were lucky, you got like a little ridge around the outside, so you wouldn't shatter the die if you put on the cooler a bit crooked. Yeah, those were the days. Ooh, RC Maniac, yeah. Flashing without a CPU, you're right, that's something that some boards allow you to do. That's right. Okay, why is that screw not gripping? I'm just gonna push on the back plate by hand. I think that's gripping now. Yeah, there we go. So this one started, yep. And then over here. Those scary levers to secure the cooler. Paul, which socket are you talking about? Which socket had the big scary levers? I mean, I remember the cartridge style CPUs that had the heatsink and stuff built in. I mean, almost like a GPU these days. That what was that? Pentium 2? Something along those lines. Okay, that's in. We're going to reinstall the CPU into the other system once this guy is installing Windows. Let's carefully transfer that here. Okay. All right. I think we're ready to check if this actually boots up with the new CPU now. So that's in. We need power. All right, and I think that should be ready to go. That's the BIOS that we don't need anymore. That's going to be our Windows 11 install drive. All right. Breaking of mainboards, yeah. Oh, CPU, yeah, mainboards without backplates. That was something. Okay, fingers crossed. Come on, post. I think I heard the fan spin down, so that's a good sign. These Ryzen CPUs really take a long time to post. Come on. Threadripper especially. Threadripper with a lot of RAM just takes ages. Hey! New CPU installed. Okay, yes. Oh, Z. Of course. Of course, you press Z. Give me a BIOS, please. Come on. Socket A close typically came with a lever that you had to use a screwdriver on to push it onto the recording bracket. Socket A, that was one of the older AMD. That was like Athlon 64 times, right? Whew. We posted. I don't actually. I had a system like that once, but I don't remember that aspect of it. Derek is asking, what is that video light? So this light is a Sconfo RGB video light P10. Has a battery in it, has RGB, has oh, that's the power button. Hold on, no. Oh, has color temperature, has RGB that you can cycle through, has some effects on it that literally nobody's going to use. Mostly it's just nice light, adjustable color temperature, so it's set to the same color as the rest of my lights. Really cool. So with the Sconfo, you don't need to get the Sconfo. There are tons of manufacturers on Amazon that make like this sort of light. This one, I mean, just look at what size it is, how much light output it claims, and you can get these in smaller than this, you can get them in larger than this, but this is the light that I just keep on my camera typically, on my A7S III, and just use as a fill light whenever I need to. Really convenient little thing. Can recommend. And they're like 50 or 60 bucks. Okay. I'm planning to buy an LTT screwdriver. I don't know. I'm planning on buying like proper tools at some point for the studio, but not right now. Okay. Cheers, Domenico. Let's get this thing set up, and we can. Well, can we load XMP? Yeah. Ooh, are we gonna run it 3200 with CL16 out of the box? Let's see. I'm just going to go through here real quick and make sure everything's roughly set correctly. Maybe I'm going to have to move myself. Oh, what am I moving? There we go. Maybe I'm going to move myself over here so we're not. I'm literally not seeing what's behind that. I'm seeing the exact same thing you guys are seeing. I don't have a screen for this system. So 3200, that's fine. Auto, that's fine. I mean, this thing doesn't need to do anything special, but at least run it at the right clock. What's in here? FTPM enabled. Yes, we need that. HD audio, that's fine, that's fine. SATA, can we disable that? Nope. NVMe, yep, that's detected, that's good. Deep sleep, this is literally never gonna go into sleep. Serial ports, nah. TPM is on, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I mean, cool, PBS, that's fine. Graphics, I mean, we're only ever using, we don't have any IGP, so that's fine. And that's just, I mean, there's just a whole bunch of options in here. Yeah. And some of these options are redundant actually, so that's something that is always confusing for me on Threadripper and on my other AMD boards as well, because these PBS, CBS options, a lot of these are just in here as well. So, yeah. Let's see, that's good. Fans are actually nice and quiet, so I don't think I even need to do any modding there. Silent mode, that's cool. Fantastic. Oh, it has the graphic adjust in the BIOS. That's cool. So, I mean, you can do the fan curve tuning where it learns the fan curve and stuff, but this is fine. This really is fine. Just making sure Secure Boot, we need that enabled, I believe, for what? When the system is in the user mode. So I guess we need to, let's see if we can install, disable the CSM, okay. CSM, there we go. So this is just making sure Windows 11 doesn't act up, and we give it the perfect setup for Windows 11. It wants to have TPM, it wants to have security, it wants to have the CSM. I mean, really, CSM is not that necessary anymore, unless, I mean, I guess it makes Linux easier. CSM is basically BIOS boot mode instead of going EFI. So Secure Boot, now we should be able to enable this. Disable CSM, we need to save. Yes. What's to talk about table saws? Is YouTube hiding stuff from me with the top chat? Let me switch over to, this is hard, live chat, all chat. Oh, and now it looks like we have a couple extra pixels. There, no. Oh no. What's up with this? Why? No, it looks like it's frozen. At the wrong screen resolution. Let's do a reset here. Come on. Oh. Yeah, Dominica, I was actually thinking about getting a table saw because it's just such an, oh no. Oh no. It's such a useful tool. If you don't have a table saw, there's just some stuff that he cannot do, that he can't even do with a bodge, with like a skill saw or something. Does it not like 3200 on the RAM? Does it freeze when it enters UEFI? Or is it something with the capture card? I'm going to plug in the TV real quick and see if that, oh, the cable's here. And see if we get any sort of output there. So you guys aren't see anything for a second. Because you might have borked that, but I do need to install, oh wait, hold on, to power that up. I do need to set everything up with TPM, Secure Boot, etc., or Windows 11 is going to complain. TV? Nope, it's frozen on the TV as well. Oh God. Looks like we're gonna have to reset. Well. And I don't even know what caused it. So actually, I guess I should unplug first. So this thing says P1.10, I guess that's the BIOS chip back here, and it's crossed out. So we did get 1.3 installed. But yeah, where is our reset jumper? Clear CMOS. Come on. Okay, we're gonna have to start from scratch with BIOS. I'm not gonna go, so I'm gonna do, TPM secure boot first this time, and then I can see if that was the case, and if that works, I'm just going to leave RAM alone, or at least not set it to 3200 from the start. Does this have an actual CMOS jumper? This has 2 pins that you short out. Clear CMOS. I guess he could plug a button into it, but yeah, good old short it out with a screwdriver or use a jumper, but nobody has those. Posts forever. So what I have no idea why this takes so long. I believe it's the first time when it boots up with new RAM or new CPU installed. I think it's doing some sort of training. At least that's what I heard, like don't quote me on that. I think it's doing some sort of training between the CPU and the RAM to make sure signal integrity, whatever, is up to snub with, oh, and we're working again, okay. Is up to snub with that, between the CPU and the RAM, and you know, it can run at whatever, best timings, I don't know. So CSM, disable. So we need to disable CSM. Let's save that real quick and turn on secure boot after this. Most new boards don't have those. You just have some pads for you to short. Oh, I've not seen the pads version. Yeah. Oh, Hoffman has clearance? Ooh. I might need to check that out. So for those of you who don't know, oh, that's cool. There we go. Okay, you turn off CSM and the BIOS stops working. Come on, ASrock. You can do better than this. Okay. So completely frozen up, completely locked up. So I guess we have to... I'm going to try one more thing. I'm going to try and disable... I'm going to disable CSM, but I'm also going to... God, this is like... I'm also going to turn off the full HD UEFI. Right now that's on auto, and sometimes something changes when you disable CSM, because then it always boots up in like full modern UEFI mode. For those of you who don't know, Hoffmann is one of the, I think they're actually from Munich, but one of the German tool sellers or shops, and manufacturers too. They have their own manufacturing, and they're not just doing tools as in like hand tools. They're mostly doing end mills and drills and modular cutting and that sort of stuff. So they've got so their stuff is like really high end. Their stuff is the stuff that is used industrially in like actual production environments. And I did order from them a couple times. I did get some, I don't know what I bought, end mill, some specialty stuff, and their stuff is like very, very good. They've even got a budget brand, Holix, which is still better than almost anything you're gonna get out on the free market. So yeah. Okay, so let's not mess this up again. So CSM, disable, and then where was this? Full HD UEFI BIOS disabled. And I hope this should actually get us into the BIOS without CSM enabled. Come on. Come on. Yes. Nope. You literally cannot disable CSM on this board. Okay. So I'm just gonna have to hope that we actually boot up in UEFI mode, because I don't wanna install Windows 11 with the CSM layer. That's just causes more problems than it solves in any shape, way, or form these days. All right, CSM's gonna stay on. I dislike this, but it is what it is. Yeah, it's many, because the 1331 pins, that's not how many pins the AM4 socket has. I mean, it used to be socket 8390, 8390, 839. So that's roughly the amount of pins that we have here. I think it's like 840 pins roughly. That's AM2, AM4, etc. has, right? Because it's still the same pin grid. It's still the same socket. It's just different pins blanked out. And then AM5 is going to an LGA, so to a landing grid array, the same that Intel has been using, and that Threadripper is using, and that's bumping up pins quite a lot. All right, so let's go back in here. We didn't change anything here, right? Yeah, FTPM is on. That's good. That's all on silent mode. That's all configured by default to silent. That's good. Secure boot enabled. Disable CSM. Yeah, what am I moving around? After reboot to ensure UEFI video driver is operational. So can we literally not enable secure boot without disabling CSM? But when we disable CSM, oh God, when we disable CSM, it stops. The BIOS stops working. AM4 does have 1331. Wow. How? Is that really that much? Okay. Come on, boot up. I hope Windows 11 is going to install without secure boot enabled. Don't think it will. Yeah, still wants us to disable CSM. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and plug in my install drive, and we can. Okay. Don't get a refresh. We're going to see what we get. We're going to see what the Windows 11 installer says. Come on. 11 for boot menu. There we go. So data traveler, let's boot UEFI. So at least we're installing in UEFI mode and not in CSM or BIOS mode. That's good. But will this screw us over? I need a mouse. Actually, I think I might be just as fast with keyboard. Nope. Language to install, English US, time and currency format. Germany. Key and input, German, that's fine. Install now. Activate Windows. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get a product key later. We're gonna install Windows 11 Pro. Install only, yes. I mean, this looks like it's installing, but is this Windows 11? It still looks like Windows 10. But I think when I last installed this was basically the same thing. So it looks like it's doing it, even though BIOS says we have secure boot disabled. So that's going to be interesting. We'll see. So yeah, as I mentioned, basically the entire reason why I'm building this system is because the old HP laptop was running out of steam, particularly for the Scantech iReal. So this system that we're building with the 5500, the Ryzen 5 5500, the GeForce GTX 1660 Super, 16 gigs of RAM, should be enough to satisfy the requirements of Scantech. So Scantech actually sent an email to me, and we're going to have a call tomorrow. Let's say that they're displeased with how the last stream went. But basically, their scanner completely failed. It couldn't finish calibration. It couldn't do a single scan. The software setup was a pain. So they asked, "Hey, can you take that video offline?" I was like, "Nah, man. That's what happened. That's like the real deal, the real unedited experience." Eventually, we agreed on me taking the video offline until we do another stream. Within 7 days. So next week, this coming week, is going to be another stream of the Scantech iReal 2E with someone from Scantech present. I don't know if they're going to be in chat or through a video call that I'm going to have in a corner or something. But at that point, the old stream is going to go back online. So that's not going to be hidden. But I do realize it's maybe a bit of an incomplete experience. And some people in the comments also mentioned, like, hey, I mean, you're just an idiot. You don't know how to use these Pro Tools. So yeah, that's how much of a concession I'm willing to make. And yeah, we're going to have a stream with someone from Scantech, basically hand-holding me for the experience. I'm building a brand new system for them. So they get the best chance of this working. So yeah. But again, the old stream is going to go back online because that was a genuine experience where nothing worked. And yeah, at first Scantech was like, "Oh yeah, you tried to install this on Windows 11. You tried to install this on a system that was not suitable for our software with like the integrated graphics. That's not going to work." And I was like, "Yeah, but you watched the stream, right? I installed this on a freaking Threadripper with a 1070 Ti that should have more than enough CPU, GPU, and RAM to satisfy your software needs." German keyboard, no. So yeah, I don't know. I'm willing to give them another chance. Should we plug you into the internet? Yeah, let me plug this guy in. I'm gonna steal Ethernet off of the Voron because that is on the guest network or on the IoT network. Yeah. God, I really need to clean some stuff up here. So we're just giving you there we go. That's lit up. Okay, connected. So that has internet. Let's see. Checking for updates. Yeah, this is the actual part where it takes a while. Yeah, time princes. That's what I'm thinking too. Like, do you show the like handheld babied experience where basically they do the stream, they instruct every single step that I do? Or do you do the experience where it's like, hey, somebody who, I mean, I assume I'm somebody who kind of knows their stuff. I mean, I've not used a ton of 3D scanners, but I've used some 3D scanners and I kind of know my way around tech, I guess. Do you give them that experience? Do you show viewers, you guys, that experience? And I feel like it should be both. Because I checked most places that sell the iReal 2E, they do offer training with the purchase. So you do get a session where they walk you through, and I guess stuff like, hey, the calibration doesn't work, or how do I install the software? That's stuff that could be covered there. So yeah, that's the chance I'm willing to give them. My opinion still stands. That should not be something that's not something that should be necessary. You should not need somebody from the company to handhold you through the setup process. I mean, they have a software, they have a wizard for calibration and stuff, and the software should be self-explanatory to a point where you don't need that. Where you don't need somebody from the company hand-holding you through the setup. Yeah, so the software still isn't great, but maybe we're actually going to get it to work. Name your device. What should we call this thing? We're going to call you the swamp thing. Swamp thing. Because I don't know what you're going to be infested with once we run a couple of 3D printers through you and fill you up with software. Yes for setup, no for everything else. We'll see. About the Voron, how far have you gotten with the auto print thing with self-removing the bed cartridges, time printers? So that actually works. I did the video about it and that 100% works. Why are we at that point again? The auto eject 100% works. I do keep swapping back and forth between the regular print bed and the auto swap because the auto swap has a much smaller usable surface. So I needed the Voron for some stuff now. And oh, my stream's gone. Hello, stream? Hi? No? Yes? OBS isn't happy about this. Oh, no, yes? Why are we so crazy on the upload? We're back? We're back. Okay, hi. Time Princess, that wasn't on you. That was on my internet connection. There was something fishy going on. Maybe I shouldn't have bumped the PC. I was wiggling that around. Where did that, what? Oh, it's installing drivers in the background. Okay. I'm gonna need to scale you down real quick. Fit to screen. Where was I going with this? Buffering is not happy, buffering should be good now. Oh, the Windows update, yes. Yes, you're right, you're right. Windows update was probably hogging the connection here. Good point. Where were we at? Yes, the Voron auto eject, right. Oh God, I'm gonna need to sign in. I don't have a domain set up here. I'm gonna need to sign into my Windows account. One moment, please. Oh no, I can't, crap, I can't see what I'm typing if I don't show it to you guys. Studio mode. So put you on that, preview, no. Hold on. There, and then there, okay. Oh, I don't actually want to sign into that account. Hold Hold on. This is getting quite confusing right now. There we go. So I'm actually going to need, yeah, Windows 11 requires a Microsoft account now. Previously it didn't have one, so let's create a Microsoft account. Swamp Thing at toms3d.org. Create a password. What's your name? Tom. What's your birth date? Can I just skip that? You need that. Okay, I'm born January 1st. January 1st, 1901. Yeah? It's invalid. You can't be that old. And I'm born in 2001. Okay. Yeah, Windows 11 does not allow you to sign in with an offline account anymore. They have completely removed that. It used to be a... does it require you to create a PIN now as well? Can I skip that? Your account requires a Windows Hello PIN. That looks good. That also looks good. Cool. Meet the complexity requirements. So I can't use 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, 1, 1. Huh? 4, 3, 2, 1? 4, 3, 2, 1? I don't want to, like... Windows 11, why do you have to be such a... such a buzzkill? Come on. And for the mandatory Spießrutenlauf, no, 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 no. Was that it? No. Huh? Huh? 3141. Oh, what was my pin again? Oh, right. First 4 digits of pi, yeah. You need to use Task Manager and kill a process during setup. Wow. Did I finish the Voron thing? I don't know if I completely finished it, but yeah, the Voron, the auto beta ejectors, somebody was asking about that. It works totally fine, it works awesome, but I keep going back to the full-size bed because this is the only full-size printer that I have. So full-size, it's 300 by 300 by 300 usable. With the bed changer, I think it's like 210 or 220 by 140. So heaps smaller, and I needed the full-size bed for a project. So currently it has the regular bed on it, but the tool changer is standing by. It's actually just off screen there. For reinstallation, it works awesomely. So yeah. Just fish names. And we have a Windows. We have a whole bunch of junk pre-installed, obviously, as you needed. Oh yeah, this was going to be the trash PC, so I guess we should install as many trash apps as we can. But this is the, it now comes with Creative Cloud pre-installed. Come on, it's just shitty. Spotify, no. Disney frickin' Plus, no. I don't want you. I don't want you. Get out of here. I don't even need the Xbox app. Facebook, no. Goodbye. Okay. Installation process done. Let's, oh no, actually not, no. Start with go away. Don't allow. I just want to download Chrome. No, why do I need to? God damn it, why is everything so complicated now? Chrome download, and it's going to bring up the shitty, yeah, there's no need to download a new web browser. Oh, no, not try now. Get out of here. There absolutely is a need to download a new web browser. Because there's no way I'm going to be using Edge. It might be good, but just because Microsoft tries to shove Edge down your throat, that is enough of a reason for me to not use it. Chrome setup. Give me Chrome. And at some point, I don't know if it was 10 or Vista, when you would start the Chrome installer, Microsoft would bring up another pop-up where it was like, hey, there's no need to install Chrome. But it looks like they stopped doing that, and now it's just a pain to change the browser defaults. Okay, and look, you can use it without signing in. You can use it absolutely without doing any crazy sign-ins. You can just get to it. So, but actually what I was going to do is Cinebench. Yeah, can I customize this in any way? Off, off, off. Yeah, I know it's the same crap as with installing Windows 11. And it gives me an error, cool. Cinebench. Use necessary cookies. Download the regular installer from Maxon. Maxon app. Oh, come on. Just want Cinebench. Offline. Yes. Yes. Stuff's complicated, yo. You can do it with Winget. Yeah, so Cinebench, they did offer installing it with the Windows Store. So I guess that is Winget. I need to change the layout here. Right. And still, the zip extractor is still so slow. The default one, absolutely crazy how slow it is. I don't know why 7-zip is just so much faster than this. Like, well, I guess 3,000 files is a bit. Distraction. First Core XY build, should I get the Revo and hope for compatible high flow and Obsidian variants, or get a Rapido or Mosquito? They're all good choices, I guess. But yeah, Revo still is a bit limited right now. There's going to be stuff coming out that, does this run both? There's going to be stuff coming out that fills those voids as far as, okay, as far as like hardened stuff goes. That feels fast, huh? But right now it's still a bit bare bones. Apt-get for Windows, cool. And the fan is spinning up, okay, okay. But it's still nice and quiet. I'm not going to do single core is just way too slow. And I guess GPU benchmark we don't really need because the GPU, it's a 1660 Super. That's what you're going to get. Man, that CPU fan does have a rather annoying noise profile to it. Ugh. Need to hold it the right way around. Yep, there's plenty of airflow going on here. Ow. This is all getting nicely sucked out, even without the side panel on. Oh, it's doing single as well? No. Is it? How does Cinebench R30 R23 work? Does it do multiple passes? Does it automatically do multiple passes? Oh, it runs for 10 minutes. It by default runs for 10 minutes? Okay. That's interesting. I don't think I've used 23 yet. But I guess that's to compensate for like aggressive throttling. And the reason why Cinebench R23, what was it before 15? Or R20 at first came out was to give a harder workload that would run for longer, but it didn't take all that long for CPUs to catch up. And at that point, the multi-benchmark, as you can see, just takes a minute or a bit over a minute with modern CPUs. So I guess they're just running for 10 minutes now, which is very reasonable, I'd say. And it's going to be interesting to see whether it gives you an average or a graph. I guess I've never used R23 yet. All right, but we're going to let that render. We're going to let that benchmark. What do we need to do? We need to put a panel on this because this thing is done. There's a little. Why is there a little green LED on the SSD? Right there. Right there. Yeah, I can see that. Why is there an LED on the SSD? I've never seen that before. I guess that's... Yeah, and it's in sync with the... Is it? Yeah, it's in sync with the hard drive activity LED. So that's interesting. Don't see why there's a need for that. Especially with NVMe drives, they're never going to be, or very rarely going to be just completely... other way? Yeah, other way around. Completely bogged down by just axes left and right. So now I just have this random green blinking thing in there. But whatever. I didn't want a... come on. Will you screw in? I didn't want a panel anyway, but I guess that's what we get. What I can do though is, before I install the, oops, let's not break the GPU with the cable here. What I can do though is I can click around on the RGB controller. That's colors. Okay, so now we get pulsating blue, yellow? Greenish? It looks more green. So this is just pulsating colors now? Okay. Oh, it does the full RGB. Of course it does. And it's swirling. Actually, I don't mind that look actually. Huh, because it's coming out of the central hubs of the fans. You don't get that cheap look where you have the 4 LEDs in the corners. So pulsating, too much. That also kind of looks cool. It's a bit darker than that. Well, I guess you're looking at the backside of the fans. It's a bit darker than that IRL. So let me give you the A cam. There you go. But that's just a bit too much, a bit too fast. Nope, nope, nope. And we're back to the start. No, it's a slow color change. Okay, so it's just a slow color fade. And then blinking red, blinking green, blinking blue, blinking yellow. Oh, that was supposed to be white. Okay, just before this one. I think I'm gonna leave this on like full RGB mode. Unicorn vomit. I don't mind the look, to be honest. Especially because these are both in sync. It does look okay. I wonder if I could just daisy chain more WS2811 LEDs in series with these. I guess that is exactly the standard that they're using. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I think that's okay. That's fine. The other option, of course, would be just to completely turn it off. But yeah, I mean, it's got RGB. Why not? I wouldn't go for it. I wouldn't like specifically buy a case with RGB, but you know, for 50 bucks, why not use it when you get it? What's our benchmark doing? 3, that's 3 minutes. Yeah, that's 3 minutes left. Let's see if I can install a CPU in that time while we run the benchmark. Oh yeah, because this thing has, yeah, there is a temperature sensor with the, yeah, this thing back here, this is an Arctic F8 TC, so it has a small thermal probe. And because this mainboard here is crap, because it has like all sorts of weird issues with fan control and stuff. I think like one of the channels doesn't do fan control, I don't know. Or one of the plugs doesn't do fan control. I used a fan that has its own fan control built in, or its own temperature control built in, and that is the Arctic F8 TC, and the sensor for that is just literally jammed into the side of the CPU into the side of the CPU heatsink there. Yeah, like that. That's gonna work. So that goes in like that. And I'm going to need to open up the lever, otherwise we're going to have a real hard time pushing that in. There we go. And then this cooler, this is an Arctic an Arctic 64 GT. I think these were like $3 each. So I just bought a bunch of these at some point and didn't really plan on using them for actual PC cooling. But I needed a fan. This system was giving me some weird issues, so I wanted to replace the heatsink. And I just grabbed one of these for $3 or something on sale. You really can't go wrong with them. I just bought them for like LED heatsinks or transistors or stuff. Okay, and that's this guy reassembled. I mean, it is a bit of a weird system. Crucial ballistics RAM and a dinky. Worse than stock. The stock heatsink of the CPU is actually better than this guy. Dinky CPU, what is that? That's a 512 gig SSD, I think so, nothing special. And a 5700 XT full-size graphics card, because like, why not? In the shittiest case you can imagine. I don't know, sometimes stuff just goes together the way it goes together, and it doesn't always have to make sense. Time Princess, what is that software that Jace2Sense uses? I don't know, I've never had the need for like extra special fan control. I usually just use the stock stuff from the BIOS, and it's fine. Yeah, I wish I had a bit more customizability, but whatever, it does the job. Usually these just run on minimum RPM anyway. Oh, we're done. 10,565 points. Is that good or bad? I don't know. It looks like it's, yeah. Looking at the compare, wow, that is remarkably close to it. Wow. Okay, yeah, no, this is actually really good. So I've got a 5600X at home, like I said, and I've not run Cinebench R23, but that's, I mean, this is, so the Threadripper 1950X, I used to have that CPU on in my workstation, and I considered that like an absolute beast. That was just 50% slower than this, faster than this guy. Whew. That's, I mean, it's pretty good. That's pretty good. And especially because it's beating out a formerly mega high-end 90, I can barely read this, 9880 Core i9. This is like an entry-level CPU that's beating out an ultra, an enthusiast CPU. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Hold on, I gotta. Where's my? There you go. It's pretty good. I'm happy with this. I think this should be fast enough. And do we have? So, question is, does this auto install like NVIDIA drivers and stuff? Where is my mouse cursor? Show more option. Yes, it does auto install NVIDIA drivers. So you get the. Oh, this is pretty laggy for me. You get actual NVIDIA drivers pre-installed and not just the standard generic drivers. So that's good. Oh, 9980 is a laptop chip. Okay, thanks for clarifying that, Domenico. Okay. So I think we is done. We're done. Logical processors. That's good. Memory is there. 3200 megahertz. SSD is there. That's all working. Fantastic. So we have a build that is about your PC. Let me get you guys the full specs. There we go. That's our system, and the time is off, but whatever. That's our system. 21H2, is that the most recent one? I have no idea. Updates. Whatever, we're done. The system works. It looks RGB. That's what everyone likes, right? NVIDIA GeForce Studio drivers. I'm gonna see what the guys from Scantech actually say, what they want in this system. Yeah, so basically they want the software just pre-set up, and they want to check that everything works on this guy. And we're going to do that tomorrow. But that's going to be it for this one, I think. I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. This looks, oh yeah, ignore the power supply cable. This, I like the case. I very much like the performance. Internet as such, Are we back? Yeah, okay, we're back. We're back. Thanks for that hint, Digital Matrix. Apparently Windows Update kills the stream. Okay, anyway, as I was saying, I'm happy with this build. This turned out very nice. I like the case. I think I'm gonna grab another one for this guy and just replace it, because this case is such a pain. Power button doesn't even work. Like you literally have to press. I literally had to wire up the reset button, this small dinky thing, instead of the main power button, for it to even boot up. I think this case is just going straight in the trash, and I'm gonna grab another one of these. This thing was on sale, $50. Fantastic. BIOS update, of course, a bit of a pain, but that's just what you get when you buy a new-ish CPU. The 5500 is not a CPU that's been out for too long, so I guess the stock, as far as main boards go, it's just not going to be updated yet. So yeah, it says on the box 3rd gen AMD Ryzen desktop ready, so it's not even 5th gen already. But whatever, we figured it out. Had to grab another PC to update the BIOS. But that's it. Thank you all for joining along for this chill stream of just building a very reasonable average PC. And I'll see you around. Bye-bye. Now to end this stream and to find the correct button. Bye. Have a great Sunday.